My name's Ashton.
Hello, Ashton. What's your question?
Mamadou Sakho, who's been praised a lot recently for his great performances, would you look to signing on a permanent deal next season?
Very good question to start with. Even the press don't ask one that good. The answer to that at the moment would be 100% yes. If we could secure Mamadou Sakho on a permanent basis, that would be a great boost, I think, to the team for next season. So, very good question.
My name is Ben.
Hello, Ben.
You've done a remarkable job for us, and it appears we can secure our Premiership status for another season. Without being disrespectful to the current crop of players, what position do you think we need to strengthen over the summer?
Oh, that's another good one here. I think that, there are a few players in the squad whose contracts might not be renewed. So that would be naturally they might move on because they're not playing as much as they would like. I think that after that we look at the size of the squad from there on, and then we have to decide with the chairman and the coaching staff and me and the recruitment staff what targets that we want. So we would target specific positions we need to strengthen the squad, and then we would move for those targets as quick as we can and hopefully secure them as quick as we can, which is not an easy task today. So we will probably at this stage, early stage, I would say we would need a minimum of 4 players and maybe as many as 7 for next season's squad. Don't put that on Twitter or Facebook.
Next.
You and the team obviously worked really hard to get the result you did on Monday night. How do you feel about the media talking about how badly Arsenal played instead of how well Palace played?
Well, that's fantastic question, because it's the one I asked the morning after the game when I picked up the paper and all I saw was Arsenal are not this, Arsenal are not that, Arsenal are not Arsenal should go, Arsenal players weren't committed, Arsenal. Well, in all fairness, our performance was overwhelming is why we beat Arsenal. It wasn't Arsenal's poor performance, we made Arsenal look poor. And we didn't, unfortunately. It's normal for that when a team like Crystal Palace beats one of the big boys. I've had it for the last 20 years in the Premier League, where it's always been the opposition big team that weren't on song. It wasn't nothing to do with how good we were tactically. It was nothing to do with how good our players were. It's just that Arsenal players weren't committed. Arsenal players weren't trying. Well, the only reason why Arsenal players didn't look committed or weren't trying because we were so good. But your question is very good, and it's spot on. We don't get the praise we deserve, or didn't get the praise we deserve. Next.
My name's Oliver, and what's the best and worst thing about being a manager?
The worst thing is getting sacked. When the chairman calls you in and says, right, Sam, you're not good enough anymore, see ya, off you go, we don't need your services anymore, which is something that is not particularly easy to take or do, but sometimes that is the game. The best thing is gaining promotion, if you're looking for promotion, getting to a cup final, getting to Europe. Those are the moments you strive for, even with a smaller team, which can happen over a period of time. If not, lesser than that is beating teams like Arsenal or Chelsea, like we've done. Those are the great moments, and those are the moments is why you do the job.
My name's Lee, and my question is, who are you aiming to get next season in the transfer window?
That's a difficult one because we are targeting players in the recruitment department, but we have to keep our targets very, very quiet, because what happens in this game is if we target too early, then it sneaks out into the press and it may alert other clubs to want that player that you want, and then that inflates the price, sadly. So the only one we'd want to sign now is the one that's here, which is Mamasako. So that's obvious. We all want to sign him, don't we? Yeah. Yes.
Hi, my name's Roy, and my question is, what do you think the players could improve on?
What do you think the players can improve on? I think the players can still improve on their passing through the opposition's midfield a little better. I think they're doing a fantastic job winning the ball back, and the passing's getting better. But I think if that passing gets a little bit more fluid and a little bit more positive, we can create a little bit more and score a little bit more. So I think that's what we can, as a team, improve on. And I'm being a bit super critical now after Monday night, but we can still always get better.
My name's Connor, and obviously we beat Arsenal 3-0, which is obviously the fans were buzzing. But what was the atmosphere in the dressing room after in the game?
Well, Mamasako, first and foremost, makes the loudest dressing room noise you've ever seen. We have a great big metal skip, and he comes and smashes the skip with his hands like he's beating the drum and saying, "Fantastic, lads." And all the lads were hugging each other and saying well done, and there was no kissing going on though. But I think that yeah, they were so happy because they've been living under a huge amount of pressure, and at long last, they're relieving that pressure on them, getting out the relegation zone and feeling good about themselves. So it builds the confidence, and it's a nice place to be when you're, as a manager, in that dressing room, seeing the players celebrate what was a fantastic victory.
My name's Rolando, and congratulations on your successful win against Arsenal.
Thank you.
And what inspired you to be a manager?
What inspired me to be a manager? I think what inspired me to be a manager was, as a professional footballer from 17, when I got to 28, I felt that I'd enjoyed my career so much and wanted to extend my career as far as possible. So when my playing days were over, which generally happens around when you're around the 30, 31, 32 mark, then you have to try and move into coaching. So around 28, I'd enjoyed the game that much and loved the game that much that I felt that if I do all my qualifications now, before I finish playing professional football, I may have a chance to do coaching and management, because I want to pass on as much of the enjoyment as I have to players that I may coach or manage in the future. So I started all my coaching badges at 28 and was lucky enough to play till I was 38. So I didn't actually manage till I was 39, 40 at Blackpool. So finally I got my chance, and have ever since enjoyed. You don't enjoy it as much as playing professional football, but enjoyed every minute of managing all the team I've managed.
My name is Jamie. How many points do you think you need to stay up in the Premier League?
Well, Jamie, normally 38 is enough points, which has been the last 10 years. But obviously, we would try and achieve more than that now. Having got 34 points with, is it 6 games left? 7, sorry. I have 34 points with 7 games left. I would expect us, or hope we can hit the 40 points mark or more. But 38 generally is enough, but let's try and get as many as we can. If we play this well again from now to the end of the season, we will pick more victories up, even though we've got very difficult games.
Hello, my name is Jack, and my question is, given the great result on Monday against Arsenal, what are your predictions for Saturday's match against Leicester? My
predictions are be careful of complacency, which means that the players don't respect Leicester as much as they respected Arsenal. And if they do that, they'll fall below the par of the standard that they play in, and Leicester would take advantage of that. It's a completely different game, Leicester. I watched Leicester last night at Atletico Madrid play a fantastic performance defensively. Well, we all know Arsenal's weakness is they can't defend. So we have a different tactical game on Saturday against Leicester, trying to break down their defence, and then they play some very good at counter-attacking football. So my focus to the player, which is what you saw in some of the training today, was to try and break Leicester's defence down and not leave the back door open. So if you saw today's session, the first thing the team did was switch off when they lost the ball, and the team scored against them. So that would have been Leicester. So you'd have heard me shouting, you know. It would have been a lot worse if you weren't there, like me. But if you, so I was shouting to warn them, if that's what they could do on Saturday, that's what will happen to them. And Leicester, we might have all the possession, but Leicester will end up scoring.
My name's Herbie, and my question is, who do you think's on the best form?
On the best form?
Yeah.
Wow. From the goalie, the way Hennessy, I think, is playing best he's played this season. Mamasako, since he's arrived from Liverpool. Jason Puncheon, since he got captain's role. Wilfried Zaha in the wide, and Andros Townsend. Probably they've been consistently better than some of the other players that play, but I'd have to say all the standard of the players over the last 9 games has been very, very high, and much higher it was than when I first came.
What changed after the Sunderland game to make us be able to beat Chelsea? And
The chairman's. Don't repeat that. No, the chairman was so frustrated. I invited him into the dressing room to tell the players exactly how he felt, because I felt it necessary after such a bad performance for him to be a passionate Crystal Palace fan, that he aired his views on what it meant to him to watch that defeat. So it seemed to work, didn't it? I hope I don't have to do it again.
My name's Jade, and my question is, what is your policy on bringing academy players through to play for the first team?
Academy players are Wilfried Zaha, Moses. In recent years, Moses plays for Chelsea regularly now, so that's not enough for me. But recruitment of academy today is extremely difficult. Parents' commitment is extremely difficult, because parents have to commit to bringing a youngster in 4 days a week, 3 days a week and weekends, which can't always be done. Schools don't help. Education system doesn't help to develop a player with physical education in schools now. So I think that the academy has to grow and invest. This academy has to grow and invest and become a status 1. We're a status 3 at the moment, I believe. And that means that we can go 2 steps higher up by investing more money into the academy and the facilities, which hopefully will allow us to go and recruit better young players, particularly in and around the South London area.
Our running is very tough. How do you think the squad will be able to cope?
Well, I said the running was extremely tough, starting from Chelsea, because we Chelsea, Southampton, Arsenal, and then we've got Leicester, Liverpool, Tottenham, Burnley, Hull, Man City, Man United. So we've already beaten Chelsea and we've already beaten Arsenal. So it shows that we can beat some of the others if we have to, or if we really want to. But for me, I'd focus on Leicester. Not that Leicester are not playing brilliantly at the moment, they are, but they had to play last night and run around in Spain a massive amount, and they have to play Atletico again next Tuesday. So I want my players to run Leicester into the ground, because I think Leicester will be tired when they arrive here. So I want my players to be really physical and active and full of energy, because I believe Leicester. So Leicester's the main aim. Win 3 points against Leicester, and then it makes life easier from there on, which allows the player more freedom, which generally allows the player to play better because he's not under as much pressure. But it is a very difficult run-in.
My name is Charlie, and I know that Premier League players get their boots for free and keepers get their gloves for free. Do you get your chewing gum for free?
No. I have. That's a great question. I've been trying to be sponsored by Wrigley's for many years, and it must be the way I chew it doesn't look sexy enough. Great question.
Hi, my name's Matthew, and if you could renew one of Crystal Palace's players, only one, who would it be?
What was that? Sorry, missed it.
If you could renew.
I'll renew the contract.
Renew the contract? I think I can say this. quite easily, actually, because the chairman has publicised it. It would have to be Wilfred Zaha.
And final question.
And the final
How
question.
do you keep the team focused for such a big match like Arsenal?
Shout at them. And make sure that they're switched on. And then we are in this room here. This room is our analysis room, as well as our media room, as well as our meeting room, as well as nearly every other room it should be. But that screen there is a touch screen. I can stop the game on that screen by touching it. I can circle the players, and then I can point arrows into the areas they should be running. Then I can. So I'm like a Gary Neville. You know what I mean? Not quite as good as him, but like that. So I can show the players on the screen exactly what we're looking for and how we should be performing and playing. And then there's a great big screen that comes down here that shows the opposition, how they play as a team, what shape of the team they are, what they do well and what they don't do so well. So the players get the strengths and weaknesses of the opposition, and then we go out on the pitch and practice it 2 days before we play them. And if they can remember a lot of what we offer them, after that they get it pushed down onto their iPads or iPhone. So if they're at home and they're sat watching the telly, they can take some time to look at who they're playing against. So they'll have some stats on who they're playing against and how they can beat them, how they can stop them. Okay?
That's the end of the broadcast section. Cameras off, please.